All right, welcome to episode 26 of the Zone's All Access, hosted by the Sports Center. Today, my guest is none other than local baseball superstar, Tyler Myatt. Myatt was the JUCO Player of the Year twice. He won the JUCO Triple Crown, which was batting average, home runs, and RBI. He led the nation in all of them. Tyler was also named the NJCAA All-American First Team. His team, Walter State, finished as JUCO World Series runner-up. Before we begin, I must thank those who support the Zone. We have a huge team of marketing partners. We have 7 premier partners, including Whitaker Insurance, Walker & Walker Construction, Hearthside Bank, J&S Concrete Pumping, Value RX Pharmacy Tazewell, Stay and Play Doggy Daycare, and Clayton Homes of Middlesboro. Thank you to First Century Bank for providing our communications. Tyler, thanks for coming in.
Glad to have
you. I know you're extremely busy. We've been trying to schedule this for a couple of weeks now, and everything's getting in the way.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you. Okay, Tyler, what sports did you play growing up? Did you do a little bit of everything?
No. So a lot of people, they always ask when I meet new players, they always ask if I played football. Never played football. I only played baseball and basketball. Basketball was probably like my first true love in a sport. I just obviously wasn't that tall or big at it.
So you said the baseball or basketball was kind of your favorite. Is it 1A, 1B type thing? Baseball's right against it.
Yeah, I would say so. Baseball, I just happen to be somewhat good at. Basketball, I can go out there and have fun, and no matter what.
Growing up, who did you pattern your game after? Basketball or baseball?
Ooh. Basketball, I liked Russell Westbrook when he was with Oklahoma, and I would say baseball was Harper. I just like the way he plays.
Yeah,
just exciting player.
Did you have particular teams you followed?
I really like the Yankees just because they always have the bigger home run guys, and you gotta. People say you gotta hate them, but you can't play without them. Kinda, you have to have the Yankees in there.
Yeah, they're needed in the league. I know your mother, Carabeth, played softball at LMU, and your dad was an athlete as well, playing some baseball, and you said some football earlier. Talk about them and their impact on you.
Yeah, so mom's really the one that wants me to play baseball as long as possible. We talk every day about different situations. If this happens, if that happens, and she's always like the one I can go to and talk to because she's kind of lived through the college life and the college athletic.
Yeah.
And Dad on the other hand, he teaches me how to be a man about stuff like what I can and can't do, like some stuff like what I can and can't say. But they're both pretty on top of it.
You're a self-driving person. Did they put that drive in you?
A little bit. They just want me to be happy. But yeah, I wouldn't say they forced no sports, but they made us do something when we was little, not just sit at the house inside all day. But forcing me to be outside and stuff helped me pick up a baseball bat. So that's definitely a big part of it.
How did Little League Baseball impact your life?
Ooh, a lot. A lot of the guys, they're not playing no more, obviously, but that type of baseball taught me how to have fun. None of us we were all probably the same skill level at that point. We were a pretty good all-star team. It was like me, Connor Atkins, Jackson, Moyers. You had Dylan, Chase, kind of all the ones, and we had fun with it. We wasn't good yet, but it taught us how to have fun no matter win or lose.
Yeah, that team did have fun.
Yeah,
it did. Talk about your twin sister Emma. How does she impact your life?
Oh, she's always on top of me about something. She's fussing at me no matter what, in a good way. Like if I say I'm striking on a curveball, she's gonna tell me about it. She's not gonna hold back. But she's there for me no matter what. she's in Florida right now playing, and she's going to go to Mount Olive next year. She's pretty excited about it, but nervous a little bit. But I'm sure the Lord will take her in His hands and do what He needs to do with her.
Yes. What advice would you give kids growing up in the little leagues now?
No matter what, you can do it. No matter what. I didn't play for the big travel ball teams or nothing like that. I just kind of went out there and played and, found what I was good at and stuck with it. But no matter where you're from, you can conquer whatever you want.
Tyler, what age do you recall kind of saying to yourself that I'm going to work hard and see where I end up? What was the moment of self-motivation?
I would say 8th grade or sophomore year. 8th grade just because it was just, I batted like 450 and just all around started getting a good player, and then didn't have a freshman season in high school because of COVID. But sophomore year coming out, I think I batted 365 maybe or 465 and just kind of played a little everywhere, and I realized that I could maybe have potential in this and just started working really hard.
Yeah. High school baseball, I was there some, got to report on you and the team, and I could tell you was frustrated with it. Were avoided by many pitchers in this district. Uh, how did that make you feel? Did it just discourage you, or what?
I hated it in the game, but afterwards, it helps. It helps with, I guess you could say, stat boosters. But it kind of helped me too about like respect that people have on me and like what I need to really focus on, because when they do miss their spot, say out, and they somehow go in, that's when you can really do damage on pitchers.
During the game, you want to make a play, and they walked you. Was that just? Did it rip at your soul?
Yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking sometimes, but you got to respect their coach because he's looking out for his team and his pitchers too.
Okay, let's talk about uh, college teams that approached you in high school. Name a couple of them.
It was just LMU, UVA-Wise, and Walter State, and then right after Walter State, I went up there for a visit. I committed that March of my junior year, so I didn't wait. I didn't wait around too long. I just went ahead and went because I knew that'd probably be the only place.
Well, that's a good program. Still is, What about your time at Walter State?
I enjoyed it. Coming in out of high school to Walters, I didn't really do too good. The game kind of sped up on me because I didn't realize how fast college baseball actually was. I thought you can just go out there and play, but I had a lot to learn. Definitely going to the infield from outfield again. It was definitely had a lot to learn. Couldn't really speed up, but having 2 months there, coming back from winter break after I found out I was redshirted, I really started picking it up and doing good. And that's when I realized that next year was going to be special.
Yeah. As a kid, did you ever imagine you would go as far as you have went so far?
Obviously, I had the MLB dreams, but never really put it into perspective. Besides, like last year before last, I'm pretty good friends with Brady Smith and his family from Granger County. He got drafted the 23 year, and we got to talk a little bit like what could happen. Will we ever play again together? And putting myself into that standpoint is pretty cool.
Yeah. What was the World Series like up there?
It was awesome. It's probably a town not too big, probably about the size of maybe Middlesboro. It's not crazy, but all the fans up there support every team. A lot of us got food and stuff handed by kids. They bring us stuff. We'd be signing after games all the time. The kids there they're just so special, and you could tell they love baseball and they love that time of year because, playing in front of 13,000 people, sometimes it's hard, but they make it so much easy.
How was the talent level when you got up to the World Series games?
Yeah, it was really good. The pitchers were really good. I don't think we faced an arm under 90 up there. Some kid up there on one of the teams, he had 100 off the mound, and luckily we didn't have to face him because we've only faced 95, 97. But we faced a kid going to Oregon. He topped 97, sitting a 4 to a 5, and then we hit off of him like a breeze. But the infielders and stuff, don't really make mistakes. They still are JUCO players, but you just got to find when they make mistakes, you really got to hammer down.
Explain the process, if you will, of how UT come to you and recruited you.
Yeah, so right after we went down to Florida, started doing good, started having a bunch of agents and college coaches hit me up, and then continued to do good. I kind of let the smaller schools, like, not really, didn't text them back, but kind of just, I told them I was going to play a little bit and just worry about the season. And then Texas A&M texted, and I was like, okay, this is exciting.
This is big.
And
Yep.
Oregon texted, and then some other big schools, and then here came LSU. And I was like, okay,
That'd be hard.
Where is Tennessee at in this?
Yeah.
I was just waiting on them, and then finally I get a text at my sister's softball game. They texted me, Coach Kiff texted me, coach's first base. He was like, okay, we want you down here as soon as possible. Can you come tomorrow? And that was when the Sunday game when they played Kentucky. I was like, yep, I'll be there. And, I'm pretty sure it was, I don't remember what day it was, but I told Nana, and she was like, so you're not going to come? I was like, nope, this is kind of important. I got to go. So me and my dad went up there, and, they said, didn't get to talk to Coach V a little bit because they were still on game day.
Yeah.
But he ended up texting me. He's like, okay, I'm coming. I'm your last call. Like, I have to approve you to be on this team. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And then we played a weekend series at home. He got to come for 2ABs because they were going to LSU that weekend. And I saw him. I had an idea he was coming. So I peeked over and I saw him standing there. I was like, no, that's not him. First 2ABs, 2 home runs, and then 2 walks. And he texted me afterwards. He was like, yeah, you're fine. You can come on an official visit. I was like, all right, let's do it. And then it kind of all went from there.
You said it before. It's kind of a dream to wear the orange. Was it the ultimate dream?
Yeah,
or is the ultimate dream MLB?
Ultimate dream to MLB. College is just a stepping stone you have to overcome. But yeah, I'm excited to wear orange if I get to.
Was that decision easy for you?
Yeah. LSU was pretty hard to pass up.
Oh, I bet.
But all their coaches, Coach Johnson, and they were really good. They talked to me every day. It's nothing against them, but I knew where I wanted to go, and it was hard to say no to them, but it was a good spot no matter which one you picked.
Looking back throughout the history of your baseball, what coaches made impacts on your life in sports and off the field?
Yeah, definitely my dad, on and off the field. The tough car rides home going like 0 for 4 with 2 Ks. Them definitely grew me a whole lot. But I would say Kevin Hunley. He was my coach since I was probably 10 years old. Nate Headley. He coached at Tennessee for a little bit. And then he was my hitting coach since I was 8, 9 years old. I talked to him the other day, talked about life. A lot of them guys, I don't really have to talk about baseball no more with them. It's mainly like, how's my family doing? How's their family doing? Yeah. Steve Foster right up there the road. I go to his place probably once a month, just getting checked in, make sure everything is okay. I would say the McGinnis brothers, Corey and Andrew, they kind of helped me get to Walter State my junior year, and I still talk to them all the time. We're gonna have something to do with my jersey pretty soon up there at the school, right when school starts, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, it will be. I know you're the one that just constantly trained. Where did you train at? And talk about them a little bit.
Okay, so all through high school, I went to Nate Headley. Now it's 108 now, but I don't really go there no more. I go to Jackson Greer. It's called JG Training in Morristown. He doesn't really, he trains me, but it's kind of the point where he helps me out. I help him out because he helped me with recruiting too. Just he was real honest about telling me what I need to do and what I need to stop doing for my body and just to conquer the goals because he's a big motivational guy. And I would say honestly the biggest thing that changed me was getting a key to the hit facility at the high school and going in there 10, 12 o'clock at night with Tyler Holt, one of my brother friends, and just him throwing to me sometimes.
Yeah, I remember you up there a lot.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, I'm calling him the next one.
Okay.
Cole Carter from Cumberland Gap.
Okay, yeah.
He had a whale of a season. What advice would you give to him?
Don't let no one tell you can't do something. That was the big thing with me. Teachers are the big one. I didn't get along with some teachers too good because they would be like, so what do you want to do? I was like, I want to play baseball as long as I can. And they were like, okay, so what do you want to do after that? I was like, I'll still be in baseball no matter what. Whether that's helping kids, coaching, or just something, because they obviously want you to pick something that's in school. But I would say don't just keep going because baseball can get your school paid for in a way.
Absolutely. Is there a possibility that you could enter the draft, and what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, there is a possibility. Right now, it's going okay in my ways for both ways, but a lot of the scouts are saying that they want to see me in ACC baseball because it's like the minor leagues now. But a lot of the guys want me to get there just because I'm still young, just turned 20, and right before, just in case if something happens next year, whether it's an injury or I get lost in the tracks, they can get me before I turn 21.
Yeah. What would it be vindication for you for all this work you put in if you made a minor league team?
Yeah, it would be relieving, I would say, because you're guaranteed, I think, 7 years without cuts and trades. But it would be really cool to do that. It'd be a blessing.
I always give my guest an opportunity to thank whoever you want to thank.
Okay,
here's yours.
Let's see. I want to thank my family. I want to thank my church too because they've been praying for me for a while. Haven't really got to go a whole lot just because I've been busy, but they understand that. A lot of them are Kentucky fans, so they came to me last Sunday. They were like, "We'll orange for you just a couple games out of the year." I was like, "Okay, that's all I ask." But I want to thank the community because they've been on me for a while now, trying to see where I want to go, just stuff like that, just kind of keeping up with me. But I also want to say sorry to the ones that I haven't got back to because some stuff that people ask me to do, I just can't do it. I'm not allowed to do it.
Right.
But I just want to say thank you to everybody that's reached out and prayed for me, no matter what, good or bad. That's about it.
Tyler, I noticed each time you go up to bat, you take your bat and you make a symbol, which looks like it's a cross.
Yeah.
You want to talk about religion and being in your life?
Yeah. So 2 years ago, around April 7th, it was on a Sunday. It was right before the eclipse, like the second eclipse, and I kept seeing all this stuff, like the world's gonna end. I thought I was saved at the moment, but it turns out that Sunday night that I needed something a lot more than baseball, a lot more than just going out, hanging out with friends. I needed a true friend, a true father, and I accepted Jesus that night. And it was unbelievable, And then that Monday comes around, I got to actually enjoy the eclipse and enjoy the world as how it had to happen. And I wasn't scared. I haven't been scared. I can go to sleep at night and just pray that everything's going to be okay. I get to pray for other people instead of myself now. But it's been great.
It's funny you mentioned the eclipse. Me and Rosemary went to Arkansas. We got to be 4 minutes of totality, and I looked up, and it was so perfect.
Yeah, it was awesome.
This didn't happen
right
any other way. It's perfect design. That reassured me.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it does. It did a lot of people.
Like, I'll share this. Every time I pray about something and it goes through, I see like a butterfly, like almost every time. And I got this feeling one time, the first time I ever seen it, and it was just so special to me. Like every time I pray for something that goes through, I'll see a butterfly, whether it's on the baseball field. Normally that's where it is. I'll be in the outfield or something, and I'll just see like a butterfly somewhere. I don't know if anyone else can see it, but I see it. And that's how I know it's pretty special to be saved and loved.
Well, I commend you for that. I really do. Anything you want to say? I typically give you a chance to say anything you want, like a last word from you.
No matter what decision I choose in a couple weeks, I will get back, no matter what it is. A lot of the people have been asking me about camps and stuff. I will do something before school starts, so look out for that. And it won't cost anything. I'm not going to charge people just because I don't see a point in that. It's going to be a camp where you're going to get somewhat developed. It's not just going to be like babysitting and kids, like your family drops.
You're going to work in this one.
Yeah, like you're going to do something. And I'm going to try to have all the high school coaches around come out just where they can see the talent that comes up. But that's going to be pretty cool.
And of course, you'll need some sponsors to do the T-shirts or something like that. How are they going to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I'm gonna right after I get done playing in July, knowing what decision I'll make, whatever happens with that, it'll probably be the 2 weeks before school starts, and I'll have like a flyer and stuff out, and it'll be set with my phone number and stuff.
You send it to me, and I'll post it too.
Right.
Will do. All right. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
I wanted to do this for a while. Just the community loves seeing what you're doing. Keep it up.
I will.
All right. Thank you, Tyler, for coming in, and thanks to our partners and those who watch us. And Rex up here for all he does for the sports and community. We will be back with episode 27. It's hard to believe. Really soon, and we'll see you next time. God bless.
Thank you.